What up? Another video. I did upload one earlier about the Halo trailer. This one is my finally uploading it. Review of. I watched it actually when it dropped, but this is my review of the Legends of Vox Machina episode 3. If you don't know, I did 2 other reviews of it, and I'll put a link to that. My review of the first 2 episodes together in the comment and in the description. Legends of Vox Machina. If you don't know what it is, there's spoilers in this review, but I'm going to give you a general review of this trailer. This is, this episode. This is a great continuation of the story, and you can tell this is definitely the beginning of the Briarwoods. This gives you a lot of setup and a lot of. This is where the odds are going. This is what their things are leading up to, and they're teasing all these things, but and showing you the beginning of this great arc of tabletop. And this medium, you get fantastic performances in a lot of the characters, but most notably, probably the people who are going to end up being the villains, and you can kind of tell that in the episode. The Lady of Briarwood and the Mr. Briarwood, the Lord and Lady. I'm not going to go into too much about that, but you go into the episode and it's kind of like very much like a cartoon. Like, why Percy? Why are you mad at these people? Who are these people? How do you know them? But he's trying to not keep the secret. He's trying to keep the secret, and it seems like they already know who he is. But they haven't revealed it to him or anybody. They haven't acknowledged him, things like that. He goes throughout the comedy routine throughout this situation, and eventually Vex fucks off. He goes and sneaks into their chambers, find out what they're up to. What are these people doing? Right? If you haven't watched the show, if you haven't watched Critical Role, you won't know what's about to happen in this whole who these people are, what are the Briarwoods, why do they have Whitestone, and some of the questions been answered and they haven't really been answered. They're asked. Nobody leaves Whitestone alive. No one enters or leaves, and they use some magic on the king, if you don't call him that, Uriel, one of the heads of the Council of Todori. They use magic on him, and nobody notices it in the show, and I'm surprised that nobody said anything in that moment, but it seems like some of the Vox Machina did notice that they did something to this man. But continuing on from that, whatever. They use what I would like to do, I forgot what spell they use, but I think it's like either friends or it's something along that nature. Like, I don't remember what spell it is, but they do that, and you see a few other spells happen throughout the show, which is so much fun. Meanwhile, things are happening. Eventually, they retire because Percy just explodes on the couple, the Briarwoods, Delilah and her husband, and they keep going. Whatever the argument, they split off. They find out, oh wait, Vex is still gone or whatever. We need to help him, and he gets. One of the coolest things is he's going through their trunk, and I didn't know if we were going to get this reference in the show because of how Wizards of the Coast works and how copyright works. But they did reference, and that means we probably know we're getting Vecna, the Whispered One. The Whispered One was definitely showed in the trunk. I didn't know if they were going to go that far with the reference to the show, but we do get the reference to the Whispered One. We do see a little bit of Vex's ability in being a rogue, and we get to see, D&D things. We get to see him be the rogue, sneak into his room, do this, that, find the book that has the Whispered One in it, and kind of try to figure out what they're up to. He gets found out. One of the coolest things he does, animate a snake and that stuff as well. But he gets caught by the Briarwoods. They attack him. He jumps out the window. They follow him. Pursuit. Gets fucking bitten, which is fucking awesome. He gets hurt. He gets fucked up. He's like, Then they This party eventually needs a distraction, so they create a distraction with Scanlan inside performing. They end up fighting the Briarwoods outside, and that ends up being a whole can of worms. They get their ass handed to them really quickly, and it establishes the stakes of who these people are. The way they did it was very much like an anime, and like these people are not to be fucked with at this time. And Percy just loses. This is where he loses his shit. One of my favorite things about No Mercy Percy. Here in the episode, we get to see the beginnings of it, and they leave the cab driver behind. He's like, you know, you're just as bad as them, whatever. But I'm gonna get to that part in a second. But in that fight, we get Wall of Thorns, which is pretty fucking cool. We get a few other attacks that are just we get the Barbarian Rage from Grog. Sorry, I almost blind blanked there. Grog and a few other things. They get their asses handed to them, and they try their best, and they didn't really fucking roughed, and they escape. Whatever. The cab driver's left behind. Going back to that, I don't want to go into more details. I would love for you to watch this show. But we get to the cab driver. This is where you start seeing this energy around Percy, and you start seeing the real No Mercy come out. And you know, you're just as bad as he steals these guys, and you're along the lines of like you're just as bad as these people. Blah blah blah. This is when he puts on that plague mask. You know, he shot the hand off, and he's getting ready to murder this guy. He's like, your soul is forfeit. Oh, one of the best things. Seeing it in animation is just even better. Just, your soul is forfeit. And, I don't know, sorry, I'm just blanking, because that is just a chills moment. Your soul is forfeit. People, you know, like, Percy, you need to stop, whatever, but then the guards of the city, you know, come and arrest Vox Machina. I'm like, wow, they just became heroes now. They're bad guys, which is totally Vox Machina for their campaign, and how good things, then right after bad things happen, and it's just like a never-ending cycle of shit. Scanlan discovers that, oh, my Vox Machina is being arrested. The Briarwoods had escaped, and that's kind of where the episode stops. But the references in this show is just, and it makes me excited for the future. We're going to get a live-action Vecna, or not like live-action, but a animated Vecna in a TV show. Possibly Archon the Cruel, and all that. You know, this episode begins the Briarwoods, and how the stakes are going to be, and how dark this is going to be. It establishes violence, and the enemy, the villains. I want to get more into the person that seems like the character amongst the group that doesn't get enough is what's her name? Fuck, I don't know why I blanked it. Hold on. I don't know why I'm blanking on Marisha and Marisha's character now. Well, fuck. I'm not gonna try to pretend I remember right now, because I don't know why I'm mind blanking. I know all of them, because it's like Vex, Vax, Grog, Scanlan, Pike, Trickfoot, and you know, I can name the group, right? But I'm blanking on her name. But Marisha's character, the druid, she's the character in the show, and maybe that's a big point, is but she hasn't got as much to do as the others, but in the fight she got cool shit to do. But I would love to see more her kind of get involved, but maybe at this point we're not going to see that much. But who knows? I am really excited to see where the show is going to take it, and how different it might be from the series, because there are some things that have been vastly different, but mostly it's at the core of Vox Machina, in my opinion. I think it's a lot of fun. This is definitely a D&D show. This is something, if you want to get your friends into Dungeons & Dragons, this is a show to watch. Be like, hey, check this out, see if you like it. This is Critical Role. Maybe you want to get them in a Critical Role. Like, hey, this is the Critical Role you can watch. You don't have to watch the 4 or 5 hour fucking streams that they've done in the past. Their series, the campaigns 1, 2, and 3. But if you're interested and if you enjoy this a lot, you want more. These characters get way more developed in the series on YouTube and Twitch. Vox Legend, the Vox Machina, the Vox Machina 1 campaign, the Mighty 9 campaign 2, and even right now, the Exandria characters that they have now in campaign 3, really a lot of fun. And they try to throw the references from other campaigns into the show, but also I just can't wait to see where this goes and it shows how the mighty have fallen real quick, and it definitely gives you the long short of the campaign, of campaign 1, and it just makes me really excited. Pike just seems like a badass in the show, more so and more important and more talkative this time around. We do see the Percy part, which is his arc, so the Whitestone arc or the Briarwoods arc, if you would like to call it one or the other. This is going to be the more fucking crazy part of the campaign, I think. I'm going to be very excited to see where it goes, where the show continues to go forward. I'm going to continue doing these little videos, reviews, if you want to call them that, or just me spouting what I think about the show into a camera. But I would give this episode probably better than the previous episodes. Because the previous episode was kind of a two in one. This one was kind of definitely a standalone episode. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Really a lot of fun, really good, establishes the villains. I don't think it's the best episode because it does rely on previous knowledge of certain things from the previous episode, but it pretty much, they could have started here if they wanted to. If they just had like an introductory of them talking to each other, they could have started the Briarwoods right away. But I think this is a good third episode. I think this is a good place to place it instead of having to tack on more shit into this episode. I think it's a lot of fun. And these episodes are just going to be a lot of fun to watch and read and rewatch. I'm going to rewatch them a lot. And just to get excited, because it also gives you your creative juice flowing for Dungeons & Dragons. I play Dungeons & Dragons weekly. So it helps you a lot. And it just makes you smile that the ability to have a game go from a living room to a studio, to another studio, to owning it, to expand media and comic books, things like that, and board games, and having your own book made by Dungeons & Dragons or Wizards Coast, to go into an animated series. That is fucking nuts. Like that, for something to start and keep going and gone this far is just what makes me smile, and being part of the Kickstarter and helped small way, I guess, because it took thousands of critters to do this, to bring it forth, but to be part of that, and I actually have my Critical Role beanies over there. I decided to wear my other D&D one, but to know that I was part of the backers, and to be able to be part of an amazing community that and helped me get back in D&D when Critical Role first campaign was out. Coming out and stuff helped me get into Dungeons & Dragons, get back into it. As a young child, I played for a while, from 11 to 16, stopped. Then I got back into it in my 20s, and this show helped flourish that, and it's helping flourish D&D to the world again, and showing people this can be a fun game and not be dark and evil. But what did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Gives it a thumbs up. I loved it. Think it's fun. 8 out of 10. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. That's okay. Why didn't you like it? I'd love to know why you didn't like it, or would you improve onto the show, or what did the show do really well that you're really excited for them to use. For me, seeing that they're gonna actually have the Whispered One, or the Lord of Lies, or whatever you might want to call Vecna, the Undying Lich, the Undead King, whatever you might want to call this guy, Vecna, the Whispered One in Exandria. Was there nothing you cared about it? It's not something you like. That's cool too. Let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with some people about Critical Role, Exandria Limited, and anything I post. Really, a lot of this stuff I'd like to have conversations with people. I would love to see what you have in mind. But yeah, I'll be reviewing some more episodes very soon. I'll be doing a full season review of a few other shows like Peacemaker, Book of Boba Fett, and a few other things as they finish. I don't typically want to do like episode. But if you think I should do episode reviews, like each episode of a show, let me know. I could do that too. But I think it takes a lot of time to do that. But I would do it if people are interested. But definitely full season reviews of a lot of series. I still have Arcane in the docket that I need to finish, and I need to finish Witcher, because I've had a lot of stuff been happening, college, all that stuff going on, that I wasn't able to just do it quickly. Especially with COVID running around, work being weird. But yeah, I'll see you in another video. Let me know what you think of Legends of Vox Machina episode 3, and I'll see you in another video. A lot more coming.